let me introduce you to the AAFCA members that we have on our virtual roundtable today. In Los Angeles with you, we have Carla Renata, the Kirby critic.
Amen. Hey, Miss Kirby.
In Chicago, we have Emmanuel and Rebecca.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
I could love the glasses.
Oh, thank you.
In Atlanta, we have Rhonda. Rhonda, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hey.
Rhonda.
And in Philadelphia, we have Katia.
Hi.
So we have all four corners of the great United States of America represented to speak with you today. And of course, Mr. Vance doesn't need any introduction. He's been an American institution in his field for a number of years. The recipient of an Emmy as well as a Tony. He's halfway there to EGOT status, and I'm willing to bet that he's going to soon earn that as an additional accolade in his very long and illustrious resume.
Very kind, very, very kind. Thank you.
Mr. Vance has a couple of projects that we know that you're eager to talk about. Of course, Uncorked, congratulations on the successful debut weekend on Netflix. And also, of course, he has several other projects that are in various stages of production, including the genius Aretha with Nat Geo. So without further ado, I'm gonna let you guys do what you do so well.
Hey, Courtney, I'm gonna ask you the first question. So with Uncorked, you played this dad who had certain dreams for his son. And when his son didn't want to follow the pattern that he had followed, it was very upsetting for him. I know that you have children. Would you want them to follow in the path of acting?
Absolutely not. I want them to follow in the path of what they want to do. That's hard enough. We grew up, there weren't as many options. I found acting by way of making a decision saying to myself, I want to find something to do that makes me happy, that I could be happy doing the rest of my life. So that drove me into my search. But I was alone in that. There weren't many people doing that. These days, and I got no support in there other than my parents. At Harvard, couldn't find anybody. There was no internet to be able to contact alumni and talk to people, and you couldn't do that back then. These days, it's possible to connect with people all over the world. So we do what I know our parents did for us, and if parents have any resources at all, they do the same thing. All parents try to, if they know what the role of being a parent is, which is to basically put your children in positions to dream. So,
and a follow-up question to that: how much did you know about the fullness and the bodies and the colors and the smells of wine before you took on this project?
None. I don't drink.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that.
Thank you. My wife drinks and enjoys wine. So I when she says this is really good, you should take a sip of this. So I take a sip and this is really smooth. Got it. That's the extent of my wine knowledge.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
How about your barbecue knowledge?
I love barbecue. I love 2Q. I'm not proficient at it, but I love to do it. And I got a wonderful opportunity to go around and sample and taste and get the sense of how it is a science, and people take it very, very seriously. It was a joy to, the best part of it is meeting the people and hearing the stories and seeing the commitment of getting up early to get that smoker or that grill going, and anticipation of getting all those rib tips and the chicken all of the various cuts of meat ready for ready for queuing.
Were you able to do Memphis in May for the barbecue festival?
We were not. I was not there for that, unfortunately. We were there in the cold, the 20-degree weather that came down upon us and shocked everyone. So that was our reality, making cold Memphis look like hot Memphis.
Mr. Vance, this is E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews.
How are you?
I really appreciated what this movie Uncorked tried to do in terms of bringing a very unconventional and niche industry in the forefront of like Black audiences and such. And I was just wondering if you could kind of speak to like just the meaning and the impact of like what this movie represents, the dynamics within the family structures, and just as an actor, like, you know, what kind of importance does it carry with you to be part of a story like this?
You know, the more we get the opportunity to show the colors of the African American, the Black experience in America, it just enhances everyone's experience. For people of color, because everybody has a different experience. Black is not universally that experience that was on the screen is not everyone's experience in Chocolate. It's just not. But you can watch it and have make it a learning experience, and folks, all the different diaspora can watch it, and they, as we have done throughout our time here in America, we have, when there wasn't any chocolate sauce on the television, we had to just put ourselves into that vanilla element, and we did. We know how to do that. We know how to see a Meryl Streep and go, the Sophie's Choice, and go, oh man, I know that struggle. We do that. They have not had that experience, and the more people can see all the different aspects of what it is to be African American, and don't sleep on slavery. The Jewish folks, they make sure they remember, they don't forget. And that's what I think we need to add into the sauce. Don't forget. Don't try to, oh yeah, it happened and we don't need it. No, we need to remember. Everyone needs to remember what that was and what that is. Not that it's gone. It is. We're still dealing with it.
Excellent. And just as a quick follow-up, the performances in Uncorked I thought were phenomenal. You know, from you, Niecy, Nash, and like all the new talented actors that were there. So my question for you was like, how much of that was scripted, ad-lib, or was it just great on-screen chemistry between you all?
It's all of the above. Well, there was a, you know, you're not going to confine Niecy Nash to a box, nor did Prentice Penny want to. Any great director is going to set up a framework and then let his or her actors know, just make it better. This is the template. This is what I had in my mind. You know, tell me what you think. And he did that with the cast, and he did that with his crew, so that he didn't have to know everything. That's when another aspect of a great director, they don't have to know everything. They know that I hired you. I anticipate and expect that you are going to make my film the best that it can be. So just tell me this is my idea. What do you think? And it's all about collaboration.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Rebecca. Listen, so, you know, streaming, you know, in this Academy season, you know, streaming was still a big part of the discussion, and we kind of delayed that for a while. But now with the coronavirus, you know, I think we're all going to be indoors with our big screen TVs. So it seems like that seesaw has tilted in one direction. And so now with the rise of streaming and Netflix as a distribution outlet, how do you think that's going to impact? Does it create, you know, more opportunities for Black actors? And, you know, what's your take on the inevitable, if you think it's inevitable, shift to streaming?
Well, I think that ultimately we thought the same thing when DVDs came out, that folks wouldn't go to the movies because they have the big screen TVs. And ultimately, I think people want to go and have an experience in the theater. That's what movie going is to me. And so I will look at it on my all my various tablets and things. That where we are now is where we are now. Who knows what the fallout is going to be? How the ultimate shift in terms of just how we do business, how corporations do business, how schools do business. There's going to be some sort of the fact that we're Zooming now is what a wonderful thing that Zoom was here for us. I've been Zooming. My good brother told me about it, and that's how we've been communicating via meetings when we couldn't make it. But I'm a firm believer that people want to still go. Ultimately, when this is all said and done, and it has passed, and it will pass, however it passes, it will pass, and we will get back to our lives as we knew them. But there's going to be some sort of shift. Some companies will say, we like the fact that our employees can work from home, and that shifts some of the burden of our monies that are outgoing in terms of rents and paying for corporate offices and things. So that, I think that's inevitable. But the main thing now, and my mind and everyone's mind, is just what can we do to make sure that this goes away and gets under control?
Well, I just want to follow up a little bit, because I think that the shift had kind of already started before we, at the end of last year, and before we were thinking about coronavirus. And I'm just, there's a narrative around it creating more opportunities for Black content makers, right? And so it's just another distribution outlet, and just the psychology of the new corporations are more open-minded on issues of race. And I'm wondering if you're seeing that. You're out there in the environment. Is that a vibe that you're picking up?
Well, it's been happening. I don't know that there's been more. There's more opportunities for everyone. The Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Apple. Everyone's doing the best work, the best scripts, the best stories are on television. Everyone's known that. I've known that for a long time, which is why I don't sit around waiting for a plum roll in the movie to come along. It's happening on the small screen, and there's no shame in it. A good story is a good story. So I think it's there, but it's been there. I agree with you, I guess, in that sense. It's been there, and the more platforms that work can happen, it's good for everyone. Have I answered your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Rebecca.
Hi, Mr. Vance. Katya Woods here, Couple Social out of Philadelphia. My question to you as president of SAG-AFTRA Foundation, how are you reaching out to membership? Because while established actors with resumes and jobs and work out there can weather this storm a little bit better, how are you making sure that you're taking care of the actors that are at the beginning of their career? They might have been on their first job, and now they don't know, is this job going to be there even when they get back? How are you reaching out to membership?
An absolute positive nightmare. And our executive staff has been, this weekend, we actually took the weekend off, but for the last 2 weeks, we've been 18-hour days. I just did a fireside chat situation so that that can be sent out to membership to calm their fears and let them know where to go to get the information. I'll be doing that on a weekly basis. Miss Kate Blanchett and the executive membership, we actually reached out to all of the Actors Council, which is what we call them, the folks who are like Harrison Ford and Kerry Washington and the Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, all those folks. We reached out to them, but we're an organization that has been around for 35 years and been trying to, our mission has been to help our membership. We're the only group that helps act. 100% of our membership are actors. So we're on the ground, boots on the ground, letting folks know we're raising money. Several actors have given, high-end actors have given $1 million to the cause, and we're just beginning. The need is 100% of our, because the business is shut down now, 100% of actors are out of work. So and we all know that actors, 95% of actors don't work or work on a limited basis. So this is all of their survival type jobs that they use to pay their bills and pay their rent are dried up. So we have to step in, and that's, we're reaching out on a daily basis. We're hitting the ground running back again today to try to begin to be able to let folks know where to go to get help. We're trying to raise money to be able to give to membership $1,000 to be able to, of those in the most needy situations, to be able to pay their rents, to be able to pay their bills, their hospital, bills and things. So it's dire. It's not, we can't ramp up. We have to be there now. So we're, as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm back on the phone trying to reach out to folks to raise money. So it is, I've stepped into the presidency at a time when we're in a pandemic. So it's big boy time. So it's in big girl time. So it's just what it is. It's no joke. I was just talking to my wife, a friend of our families. They said, well, they wanted to go get married. They went up to the vineyard for just a quick weekend, and he contracted the virus and he's dead. So it's no joke. This is real. When we are told to stay indoors and 6 feet away from people, and when we do go out and not to, let me go hang out at the tennis court or on the beach, please don't do that. It's just the quicker we can do what we're asked to do and stay away from each other, the quicker a solution can be found, and we can get back to what we like to do. So that's my message.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Katya.
Hi, Courtney. This is Carla, the Curvy Critic again. I just want to ask one other question since we're talking about actors. I act as well, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts are regarding what the new normal is going to be for us now, because those of us that are on scripted series, we can't go in the studio to shoot. Those of us that have scripts that we want to get produced, we can't necessarily get them produced. How do you think we're going to segue into this new normal?
I think we're doing it. I think that this Zoom, we're pitching projects on Zoom now. Everyone knows what the reality of the situation is, and they know that we have to shift, we have to pivot, and that's what we have to do. We can't, while we're sitting at home and doing what we're supposed to do and being away from people, business can still get done. We're going to get a teleprompter machine to sit right on top of my laptop, so I can speak directly to membership or right to people that I need to speak with, so I can conduct business from right here. So it is what it is. It's we thought that we would be able to have this thing nipped in 2-3 weeks. That's not happening. So it's a recognize that. Hunker down and do what is necessary to do, and shift and do business can still be done right here. Get your little background together and get a little teleprompter machine if you need to, whatever you need to do. Get your mics and your lights and handle your business.
You don't need a teleprompter machine. There's actually an app for that. It's called Teleprompter, and it's free.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Vance, this is Katya Woods again. The other question I had for you is, I love the roles that you've chosen. Even in Photograph, you played a father. You're playing one in Uncorked, but they're two different type of fathers, and it gives you an opportunity to work with newer stars and younger actors. What are you finding that experience like? Because now you're the seasoned veteran, whereas before you were the younger guy. What do you feel that interaction is like for you? Do you feel it's been welcoming? It's been fun? Do you feel it invigorates you as an actor?
It's the continuum. I came into onto the scene with Fences and James Earl Jones and Mary Alice and Lloyd Richards directing, August Wilson, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know upstage from downstage. I knew nothing, and they brought me along. They brought me up to speed so that when I finally knew what I was doing, I was the last part of the equation, and the piece, our play took off. And so I know exactly what this time is. James Earl and Ray Arana and Charlie Brown and Frankie Faison, they all took me by the hand and took me along. And I know that's the journey. That's I've watched it, I've lived it, and now it's a wonderful opportunity to do what I've been doing, which is talking and listening. Clint Eastwood said to Charlie Sheen, when Charlie Sheen was so excited about this week, I'm so excited to work with you, Mr. Easton. This is so. And Clint looked at him and said, "Son, we're gonna say some lines and hit some marks." And that's what we're doing. We're gonna tell some stories, say some lines, and hit some marks, and go on home and get back to what you were supposed to be doing. And don't be crazy. It's a wonderful job. You have a wonderful opportunity. Do your job and go home.
So Courtney, tell us about Genius Aretha, the upcoming project starring you and Cynthia Erivo that gives us insight into the life of the Queen of Soul.
That is going to be and is a monumental project. Anthony Hemingway and Susan Lloyd Parks are helming it. And it is, before we stopped in the middle of the 6th episode. We're in the middle of something that is the last time I experienced it was on The People versus O.J. Simpson, where everyone is involved, everyone is committed, and the work is absolutely stellar. So I'm very, very excited about getting back to Atlanta and, well, as they say, Atlanta. Yeah, that's right. Getting back to Atlanta and getting back to work. We are the music. Cynthia Erivo is just, it's one of those pieces that we'll all look back on and go, I was a part of that. Yeah, I did that. That was one of my favorite pieces that, so it is because you're doing something with a person that had one of those lives that are, her homegoing service was 9 hours. So that gives you an idea of what her life was like. Her life was complex, and you talk about a fine wine. She was so many different colors and textures to her. And you couldn't say this is exactly who she was, because she grew up in a situation that was, you would think somebody like that with a voice like that would just automatically be, as soon as she came onto the scene, she did whatever she wanted to do. But it took her 7 years to pop. And she had a child when she was 12 and 15. So, the trauma that she went through in her early life and the staying power that she exhibited in order to push through to get to the other side, to get her RESPECT. Most people would have just gone back into the church. Gil, we're losing you. Where are you going, Gil?
I'm here.
Most people would have gone back into the church, folded back into her father's arms, but she was determined to become a star. And despite, so her story and the story that we're telling is a story of overcoming, and one that all of us can identify with.
Now, how many episodes in total will there be?
There'll be 8. We have done 6 thus far.
Wow. And we will see that probably in the summer or the fall?
Well, you know, we just got an email on Friday, I believe it was, or Thursday, that we were supposed to, the first episode was supposed to, there was, I guess, Memorial Day, the 25th of May, they were supposed to begin a 2 hour for 4 days, 4 straight days, 2 hours, 2 episodes an evening. But that, of course, that has been pushed back. We weren't able to make that. So I don't quite know when the new date, because nobody really knows. So whenever it happens, it's gonna be amazing.
And then, of course, as soon as you wrap that, you fly to Chicago, I believe, to begin another project. Can you tell us about that?
That's called 61st Street. Michael B. Jordan's production company is doing that, and AMC, and associated with AMC. Quite an amazing. I was just talking to Miss Niecy Nash, who I believe they made an offer to be in the project as well. We were talking last night or yesterday. So it is a project. Wonderful young man who's in the hood in the projects and has escaped it and is on his way on a track scholarship. And he's hanging out with his boys. He's not in the gangs, but all his boys are, and they recognize that he's on his way to do something greater, and they're celebrating him. And unbeknownst to them, there's a sting going on, and he's caught up in it. And so it looks like the police are trying to put their finger on him as one of the police officers was hurt badly, and they're trying to put their finger on him. And I knew him well, and I'm a prosecutor, not a prosecutor, but a public defender. Been doing it for 25 years. I'm on my way out. My son has got Alzheimer's, and not Alzheimer's. I forget. He's not well. And now he's 17, and now is my time to be able to take care of him with my wife. And I'm pulled back into this. This is going to rock the city, and they need me to represent this young man. But I'm going against what I told my wife to do, we were going to do. So it is that very thing. I'm trying to get out, and they pull me back in, kind of situation. And we'll be shooting 16 episodes over I guess they'll release 8 for one season, 8 for another season. So it is it's a towering piece. So very excited.
And it's being shot entirely in Chicago?
Entirely in Chicago.
Wow, well, get ready for some good eats.
Yeah, well, those of us in Chicago will really look forward to that. So, and of course, 61st Street, you know, we all know. And then, of course, now it's still the subject of controversy because of gentrification. Mm-hmm. The University of Chicago, like moving there. I had another question for you, which is, so we are African-American critics, and we try to bring to the attention of larger communities and our own communities, like what's happening in, in the world of Black entertainment. From your perspective as an actor, as content maker, what would you like to what would you like to see from us? What would you like to see us do more of, or how would you like to see us broaden our engagement?
I would like to see us support all the things that we do. I would like to dispel that image of, we did something and turned a corner on Black Panther. We did something and turned a corner with Barack Obama being elected first and then being elected again. We proved that we could get behind whatever we actually got behind, became a hit, became a thing. And I would like us to recognize that we have the power to, if we don't like somebody, if we don't like a politician, or we don't like our current politicians, to get them out of there. We all, I've always said, and our bishop lets us know that if you don't vote, you can't complain. Don't complain. So I would like to see us support all the wonderful things that are happening now. So they become, and they send a message that that we matter, that we're players, that we support, and no matter what it is, because we're in a period of a dispensation right now where we are able to do all kinds of colors, show all kinds of colors. So support it. Let them know that. Let the powers that be know that we are that myth is not true anymore. That we won't the whole idea that Black doesn't play overseas. Hello, almost $2 billion in Black Panther. I think it does. So let's not forget. That's the mantra. Don't forget that we have the power to hit that little swipe and change things, change people's conceptions of us and perceptions of us.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And
Finally,
is there one last question?
Country?
I got
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country, we did that for HBO. I don't know when it will be released, but another huge, Misha Green, huge project. I was in maybe 4-5 episodes of a 10-episode piece, so season. So I don't know where that is, but it's when it's released, and there's no way I can explain it because it's huge.
I got one last one for you, Mr. Vance. You've been giving us like decades of consistent quality of just wonderful performances. And similar to what you were talking about earlier about, coming onto the stage and having those mentors be there for you, like what are the keys to longevity and respect in the movie industry? And like, what kind of advice would you pass on to some of these newer actors coming onto the scene?
Save your money. Find out what get your rhythm and where the cleaners is and where things are. Connect with people and recognize that it's a different day than when I grew up in the business, because you can get on your computer and text folks and Instagram folks and do your own thing. You don't be afraid to do your own thing. People are making projects with iPhones, and it's possible now. So don't sit around and wait for folks to do things. People say, so how do you get started? Wherever you are in the city that you are, you take that face cloth and you wring it dry. Don't leave no stone unturned in your city. If you can do it there, then you can do it anywhere. So if you're in Atlanta, if you're in Dayton, Ohio, if you're in Detroit, wherever you are, find the community theater, just get in there and be a part and see how much you love it. See if it's in your blood. If it's in your blood, then you've got to do it, and you'll put up with all you need to put up in order for it to happen for you.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate it.
And also, I'd just like to say that Peter Moffat was the main showrunner for 61st Street, AMC, Michael B. Jordan. And
any social you want to tell us about to keep our audiences connected with what's going on?
Do I want to keep you?
Your social media handles.
I don't really know what they are. I will. I'm not really in that too tough. Our assistants keep us in that. So I can get that.
I hear you.
Oh, here it is. What is this? That A with the little thing.
At
Courtney B. Vance.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
all right. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.